Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Have you ever drifted, sister? Have you ever fallen off track? Have you ever done something that works and then you suddenly stop doing it and go, why did I stop doing that? Of course you did. Everybody's done that at some point in their life. And if you're saying, no, I never do, you are a liar or delusional. However, I'm going to assume that you are neither. And right now you're nodding your head and going, yep, Karen, done it, doing it right now, right? And what I found has been the case when I talk to other women, the women that I coach, women inside the sisterhood, women that connect with me on Facebook, is they want to figure out the why. They think that the why is somehow the turnkey to figuring all that stuff out. If I figure out why I stop doing things, then I'll stop doing things. When really what it comes down to, this isn't about it. It's another behavior you're hiding behind, thinking that you have to, quote, figure it out in order to figure it out. That's bullshit. You and I both know that, learning to walk isn't about like thinking about it, talking about it, make a list about it. When you are an infant and becoming a toddler, you just get up and you start fucking walking. You have a determination, which is I want to move. I want to get from A to B faster. I want to have a different perspective on the world. And you go from crawling to walking. You just do. You just take action, right? So I really want you to hear this right now is that it has nothing to do with the why. Like zero. Zero to do with the why as to why that you've stopped doing the things that actually really work. But I'll tell you something right now. It is much harder to stay on the wagon than to fall off and to climb your way back on. Much harder. You know it, right? So right now, it's been a while since you've had a date night. It's been a while since you've gone to the gym, since you've gone to sleep. And you're like, fuck. It seems like every day that passes, it becomes tougher to get back on track. And so you think that your one day of like, you know what, I'm just going to not go to the gym. I don't really feel like it. And the next day it's like, well, I'm kind of tired. It becomes a slippery slope so fast that you just slide the fuck off, right? And then it's a week later, in 2 months, you're like, what the hell? 2 years later, you're like, where did these 80 pounds come from? Yeah, they didn't magically transplant onto your body overnight. And it began with you falling off the wagon. Now listen, I'm not saying that there's never going to be a moment that you are a human being that makes mistakes. You are, right? We're imperfect. It's the way it is. We pick ourselves up, we learn lessons, and we move on. But I'm just telling you right now, the pain that you often feel of like, oh, I don't feel like getting up. Oh, this is just too hard. I want to do something easy right now. The pain of that and actually doing the thing that you said that you would do, something you clearly want because you know why and you want a specific result, it is much easier to deal with that than to have to deal with getting back on the wagon. It is much harder to stay on than to fall off and to find and climb your way back on the wagon again. So let me give you 2 examples. So this morning, my husband, out of love, he loves our 2 boys so much, but he goes to Starbucks in the morning. He's like, I'm going to get the boys hot chocolate. So we've had an agreement so that there's no hot chocolate in the mornings before school. A big old blast of sugar does not work well with my children. Either of them. I used to say, especially my oldest, but no, Kai too. Right? Sugar, he becomes kind of, first they're like, right? And then the irritable, they kind of crash. They're really super defiant and just doesn't go well, right? They get a little crazy. Weekends, we're lax about that stuff. If you want to get a hot chocolate for the boys once or twice, totally fine, but just not right before school. It just does not work well. So my husband comes back. I hear Tyson go, where's my hot chocolate? And before actually even looking over and seeing it, I'm like, no, buddy, it's Wednesday at school. We can do hot chocolate on the weekends. And I see Ed's got 2 hot chocolates for the boys. He's like, oh, sorry, it was last minute. Now I know for Ed, it's, he loves to show the boy love for things like that. You know, he likes to do those things. But what happened then when we went to go to school and daycare? Upsets, challenges. Stayed calm. I knew Daddy was kind of at his edge. I'm helping to get Kai. I'm having to kind of like, you know, convince and persuade, and how about this and how about that. And even though it was like I'm taking Tyson and Ed had agreed to take Kai, I'm now having to jump in and be the one, because I can see Ed's starting to like, he's going to lose it really fast. And you know what it's like? It does not, if you try to rush your child who doesn't want to move, it just makes it worse. Like it makes it so much worse, right? So what will potentially, I'm not going to create any stories, but what will potentially happen tomorrow morning? Possibly. Well, I got a hot chocolate yesterday. How come I got one today, right? Where it took a little while, because we were doing hot chocolates kind of here and there and special treat, and it took a little while to kind of go back to, no, it's only for that, right? It's only for the weekend. We can do that as a special thing on the weekends. Let me give you another example of myself. And so I had been very consistently walking my dogs in the mornings. Fell off track with that. I got back on track, fell off the wagon, went back on the wagon. I just said, you know what? Screw this. I recognize about myself, I got to move my body early morning. And if it's outside, even better. Like it is like oxygen for me to have that. If I don't have that, I mean, it's not quite oxygen. I don't die. I don't, stop breathing. But I just don't adapt as well to some of the insanity of the mornings with kids. I'm not as calm. I don't feel as focused. It's really important for me to have that. And so it is now, as I record, this is October the 25th today. And it's getting darker, right, in the mornings. Like sunrise is not till, I think, maybe 7:30, 7:40ish, something like that. It's starting to get lighter, but earlier than that. But full sun is up by that time. And so I've been doing this story of like, well, I won't go walk the dogs now. I'm going to like do my meditation. I usually meditate, like get up, feed the dogs, water, meditate, and then head right out. So that, that's anywhere from now 4:30 to 5 in the morning, and it is pitch fucking dark. Like, I mean, dark. And I've been okay with it, but we do have, even though we live in a city, we've got quite a lot of wildlife. So there's like bunnies are no biggie, but like deer that walk around, and it's just dark, right? The unknown, and what the hell is in there, and what's that sound, and all that kind of stuff. So I've been saying, and I've been missing the sunrise, which I really love seeing the sunrise. I often will do an Instagram story, which, by the way, if you don't, you can follow me on Instagram, which is at I think it's just at Karen Osborne. I have the link in the show notes for that as well, too. You can kind of watch and see what my days are like, because I like to document it there on Instagram stories. And so I've been able to do those or take pictures and that kind of thing. So I'm like, I'm going to get up a little bit later. So I've been doing that, but it's not been the same, because then guess what? Kids are up, and, something's going on. I can't adapt to it as well. I'm really clear. I know myself well enough to be like, Karen needs to get outside, move her body. Even if it's just something like a walk, like a 30-minute, 25-minute walk with the dogs, fresh air, even if it's colder, like whatever. And it's been getting like a little cooler, not quite here, but some mornings where it's like I could probably maybe have some gloves on and a hat. Like, no biggie. And, but I've been using it as an excuse. I'm like, Dad, I want to get the sunrise pictures. I just want to like see the sunrise, have it not be so dark. It's a little creepy when it's pitch dark. And so what was been happening is I kept going more and more. So it's been like a week of that, right? I still get my dog walk in. It's fine. But I'm not the same in the morning. I'm just not. I'm irritable with the kids. I don't have that time for me. I'm watching the clock. I'm kind of stressing. And here's what's really interesting as well, too. When I get outside, guess what? There's more people now. So I realized, too, and recognized that I liked the solitude of being alone out there with my dogs in the dark, walking, like very peaceful, very calming, very grounding for me. And so I fell off the wagon with that. Yesterday, I'm like, fuck this, because it kept getting harder and harder, because I'm like, I'm going to have my coffee first, and then I'll read and journal, I'll do my posts and stuff, and then I'll head out. It'll be like 6:45, and I'll go for like half an hour, and then I'll come back and be in the kids' mode and get them ready and out the door, and then I usually head to train or something else. So it's been hard to get back to that. Today, I'm like, fuck it. I am doing it. You know what? It came down to a decision. Not the figuring out the why, not beating myself up. A decision. I'm getting up. I'm already up, but I'm getting up, meditating. I've had my water and the dogs have had their food, and now I'm heading right out the door. That's it. That's it. End of story. That's it. Because it is way harder to get back on the wagon when you've fallen off than just to stay on the wagon in the first place. And if you don't believe me, sister, test it. I know there's truth to this, though. There's huge truth to this. And again, we think that, like 1 or 2 times, and then it's like, it just becomes just... And it can be, too, where, you've trained yourself, your kids know this is the routine, you've trained your clients, like, whatever. And it really comes down to this. You've broken an agreement, right? You've broken an agreement with yourself, with your kids, with your spouse, with your clients, with your family, with your friends. You've broken an agreement. And so guess what? It involves either you or someone else. Whether you say you're going to commit to something or you tell someone else, will you believe yourself? If in the past you haven't followed through, you go, well, I don't know, I say I do, but am I actually going to do it? Right? Or that person is saying, yeah, Karen said she was going to sing, but she flaked last time, so is she going to do it? And when it comes down to it, your commitment is everything. It is your word. It is who you are. It's what you stand for. So here's your more tip for today. Where have you fallen off the wagon? Is it with your fitness, nutrition? Is it with your children? Is it with agreements you made with your husband, with your clients, with business, with outcomes that you said that you wanted? And what is one action step you can do to get back on the wagon? And then commit to staying there. Commit. Journal all of this. All of it. These are the kind of questions that I actually put in the Women Wanting More Experience Facebook group. I created this group about 2.5, 3 months, maybe 3 months ago. Simply out of a reason of there's a lot of women I know that are not ready for the sisterhood, or they're not going to commit. They don't invest in themselves at all. And they go, but I want results. But you're investing nothing of your time and of your dollars. Fuck, are you worth it? So as opposed to me continuing to have that conversation with myself and get frustrated, I'm like, okay, fine. Let me create a free Facebook group. I'm going to provide value for you there. And then if you stay there, cool. Some are going to see that, hey, what is the next step, and go from there, cool. And so now there's almost 1,000 women there. Incredible. So here's what I want you to do. If you are not already in this Facebook group right now, go into Facebook, open up your browser, go into Facebook, or click on that app on your phone. Go to the search bar at the top and type in Women Wanting More Experience. Women Wanting More Experience. It's a closed private Facebook group, so request to be added to the group, and I'll add you the next 24 hours. In addition, for that journaling exercise I just mentioned, if you don't already have your Women Wanting More limited edition journal, and you've heard me say this 20 times already, what the hell are you waiting for? This is free. Yes, you pay for a little bit of shipping. Yes, I've had some women on the Facebook ads that are running for the journals saying, but I could get a journal for $10. Great, go get one. But it costs me $12, $15 every one I send out. And yes, you pay a little bit for shipping. Under $10 for shipping, just under $10 for shipping. It doesn't even cover my costs of everything and the shipping. So I do this as a gift to you. Just like I opened the Facebook group and providing value for free. Sending these journals for free. You pay that little itty bit of shipping. And there's going to be lots of other special goodies that are going to be in that package. And I am personally sending them out all myself. Almost 200 that have gone out to the following countries. Ready? Here we go. US, Canada, UK, Australia, Singapore, Ireland, Norway, Scotland. What am I missing? I believe Korea. So, did I say New Zealand? Yeah, New Zealand, Australia. Australia, US, and Canada. The biggest countries. US number 1, Canada number 2, and then we go Australia, UK. Germany is actually the 5th highest country in podcast listens. Isn't that crazy? I don't know why Germany. But there you go. So here's what you need to do to get your journal. Go over to drkarenosborne.com/free journal. If you're listening on your phone, click on that I button, open it up, and you'll see the click. You can just click right on the link to get your free journal. Or if you're listening in the show notes, you can do the same. But otherwise, just go and type in Dr. Karen Osborne, drkarenosborne.com/free journal, and you'll receive that in the next couple of weeks. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. I appreciate you being here and listening to this podcast today and being present and soaking it all in. And just know that life of more is one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
Get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip. Subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.